Good morning, everybody. So as you can see, we've got calves down here in this south feedlot now. These are our steer calves, our home-raised steer calves that we got down here. So we weaned them at the beginning of this week, and now they've gotten to where they've settled down, and we can put them out into this feedlot now because we know they've settled down and they're not going to try to crawl out now. So got our steer calves down here, we've got our heifer calves in the middle pen, and then we've got the heifer calves that we bought that we have been feeding in our far north pen. So we've got 3 different pens that we're feeding right now, and then we've got some old cull cows and stuff like that as well. But we got a lot more going on with feeding now. But these steer calves I think we're going to get rid of in the middle of January. So roughly we'll feed them for about a month, and then we're going to get rid of them. I think that's the plan anyway. Last I heard that was the plan. So anyway, I gotta go catch up with Dad. This new Bobcat, he can feed a lot faster. So our running gear with the 2 hoppers on it, all that had our grain in it, that went empty. So we've been feeding out of this grinder in here, but it's just getting below half. Yeah, it's just below half right now. You can see in those side windows it tells you, and it's right there at the 45 bushel window, and it was full all the way up to the 100 bushel window when we parked it in here. So it's getting down there, and we're gonna have to probably fill it up in the next 2 or 3 days, I bet. And it's gonna be fairly decently warm, so it won't be too hard getting this tractor started. But we'll get the tractor started, go down there, and we'll fill up the hopper again and all that good stuff, so then we can just use the Bobcat bucket. But since we're feeding out of this, I gotta fill up all these pails, and then we'll dump them into the bucket of the Bobcat. So we've been feeding, we've got some like straight Milo screenings in our far south grain bin, and it's been in there for a while, and we're trying to get it fed up. So we've been feeding 4 pails of that, and then 12 pails of this Milo screenings and sunflower screenings mix, because we're trying to get it fed up too. So we're feeding this to this north pen, then that's the heifer calves that we bought. And then our other 2 pens are just getting 4 pails each, so 8 pails between our home-raised heifers and our home-raised steers, and then 16 pails for this north pen, just because we'll eventually work our steer calves up to probably more pails, just because we want to get more weight, push more weight to them, so they're gaining a little more weight. But our heifer calves that we're going to keep and run next summer, we probably won't push them too hard with the grain, but we're trying to get this stuff fed up, so we'll push our home-raised steer calves more. And then this north pen too, we're trying to feed them pretty heavy because we're trying to put weight on them, so then next summer when we sell them, that they put on a lot of weight, hopefully. It's supposed to be for the guys should feed that. Still got like 45 bushel. I didn't know if this last couple.
Well, but I didn't know, because tomorrow's Christmas, and then Thursday we're pouring concrete, so I didn't know.
Oh, that's true. I forgot we were doing Tuesday.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna tomorrow. Sure. You could fill the pails again too, honestly, and then do it. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go do hoppers and stuff too.
Yeah. I'm 12, I think.
probably close to 40, don't we? Okay, so we're gonna go down, set up some electric fence. We've already got a half-mile strand of electric fence up, so we're gonna go set up 2 quarter-mile cross ones, and we're finally gonna start getting into rotational grazing our cattle in the wintertime, and trying to do, I don't know what we've decided, whether we're gonna do daily moves or every 2-day moves or something like that. But we're gonna start rotational grazing them through our winter pieces, just kind of save grass, and hopefully it does, you know, has all the same positives as it does in the summertime. It's just cold. So you kind of have to pick and choose where you want to put the electric fences out here, because in this particular spot, I mean, we got a big draw here, then there's another little draw that we have to cross to get to the half-mile electric fence that's ran this way. So we kind of have to be picky on where we put our cross fences, which kind of sucks, but the next piece will be way easier. So like I was saying, Cole and I put in this half-mile fence a couple days ago. This one that runs this way, this is a half-mile, and this is a quarter-mile here. We got quarter-mile spools of wire and half-mile spools of wire. So this first year of doing the rotational grazing in the wintertime is going to be a big learning year for us. Just because, like, we've been doing the rotational grazing and the daily moves in the summertime for over 5 years now, and so we kind of have a good idea of, you know, how big of pieces to give them and stuff. But with this wintertime rotational grazing, you know, the grass, they don't get as much out of the grass. They got to eat more grass in the wintertime, so we got to give them bigger pieces, we think. I mean, we really don't know. We just kind of have to learn how much our cows are going to eat, what their daily intake is going to be, what they need. Whoa, what they need every day. Oh, I'm on a big old draw right here. What they need every day, the amount they need every day, and then we'll get to, once we learn, next year should be a lot easier, and we'll have a good idea in our head and a plan of what we need to do to execute it properly. While Dad was walking putting in fence posts, he found an old cow tooth. So this is the roots of the tooth here, and that's the top, you know, the part that actually gets used. So I thought it was kind of cool. So that's my thumb for reference on how big the tooth is. They're pretty big teeth. Cows are pretty big animals. As you can see, it's broken, kind of almost broken half. So when you hear the term broken mouth cows, that's where it comes from. So I don't know exactly like how many teeth they have when they're heifers and stuff like that, but basically they grow their teeth in as they age, and when they're a solid mouth cow, which I think is like 5 to 6 or something in there years old, right around there is when they get their solid mouth, and that's when they have all their teeth that they're ever going to have, and none of them are broken and they're in good shape and stuff. And then once they get to a certain age, their teeth start to break, and that's when they're considered broken mouth cows. So when you hear people talking about broken mouth cows selling at the sale barn and stuff like that, that's what they mean. Those cows have hit a certain age where their teeth are starting to break and they're getting older, and then they're considered a broken mouth cow. So we're getting ready to move the cows now. So we got to open that gate there. As you can see, there's some cows standing there. There's a gate there, this gate, and then that gate in the corral there, because they can come into the corrals. So I'm gonna open these 3. Dad's gonna bring the bobcat down with the bale of hay on it. He's gonna open that gate there for the creek crossing. And then Cole's gonna go down, get some gates situated down there where they're going into. And then Cole's gonna hang out up here by the feedlots to make sure none of those calves that we just weaned try to crawl out or anything and get in with these. And then I'm gonna run up the creek and make sure everything is out of these pieces and get everything coming this way. So we got the cows into this piece now. I just drove down here to where the fence is here that Cole and I put up, the half-mile electric fence. They were all kind of excited and in a hurry, so I drove down here quick. See, now they kind of followed me down here, so hopefully now they'll see the border and not just be excited and run through it. It's kind of what we were worried about, but now they should see it here, now that they've kind of calmed down a little bit, and then they'll know that they're back to doing electric fences and stuff. So we kind of chose a, it looks like the dog went for a swim. Come here, Riley, come on. There, she made it up out. Okay, anyway, yeah, she went for a swim. Anyways, we picked a fairly steep, so we had to cross the creek with this a half-mile electric fence. We chose a fairly steep spot because, you know, there's a steep bank over there and a fairly steep bank here, just so we know that the cows are probably not gonna get down you know, climb down through that steep bank into the creek and cross to the other side. We know they're probably not gonna do that, so we chose a fairly steep spot for that. Looks like, I think Dad rolled out that bale for them, so they're all kind of making their way back over there to eat the bale, but so I know earlier I said that we could probably wait 3 days or so to fill that up, but we decided to do it today because today's actually Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas, so obviously we don't really want to do a ton on Christmas. So we're gonna, and then Christmas is on a Wednesday, so then that Thursday, the day after Christmas, we're pouring some concrete, so we'll be pretty busy Thursday as well. So today's really the only day in the next 3 days that we have time to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and get it done now and get it filled up, get those hoppers on that running gear, that trailer filled up, and then should be good to go for another 2 weeks or so. I think this one lasted. All right, so we were filling and filling and filling, then we heard a pop, and where the tractor, the engine connects to the hydraulic pump, right there. This is supposed to be in there. There's two of them, but the bolts sheared off of it and it broke. So we'll have to replace that. But without that, you can't run the. You can start the engine, but you can't. I mean, that's hydraulic steering. Hydraulics for that. Is that hydraulic transmission?
No, no, the transmission should work, but you wouldn't have any steering, probably.
They wouldn't have no steering or nothing, so we can't drive it or use it. So it's just kind of got to sit here till we get parts to fix it. All right, so I got the shop cleaned out so that we can shove the nose of that tractor up beside my pickup onto the concrete there, and then we'll have it on concrete to tear it apart, and hopefully get it fixed. Since it's tomorrow, tomorrow's Christmas, and then New Year's Eve is next week and stuff like that. It'll take a little bit for the parts to get here, so probably won't tear it apart right away, but at least we'll get it in here and get it fixed, or get it in here so we can get it fixed anyway. My pickup, I got the water pump replaced. I replaced the power steering pump because it was leaking. I replaced both of the pressure. There was two pressure lines, power steering lines. I replaced them because they were leaking. So all that's put back together. But my harmonic balancer on my pickup is held on. This is my harmonic balancer. It's held on by a bolt through the center of it. So, and that bolt has to be torqued to like 255 foot-pounds, I think. So we don't have a torque wrench that goes that high. Ours goes up to like 150, but I think some of our relatives, or I've got a buddy that probably has one that goes that high, so I'll have to borrow that from them. So I can get that put back on and then get this to running again. And I've also got the transmission pan dropped on this because I'm doing a full service on the transmission. Stuff like that as well. So I got to get all that put back together. Get the engine put back together. And then this thing can leave. But for now, since it's going to be a little bit, we just clean this area here so then we can get the tractor in here still. So I'm gonna grab a small chain because we're gonna have to pull that tractor out of the way enough. We'll have to unhook it from the grinder and pull it forward so we can get the Bobcat behind it and then push it the rest of the way up here into the shop. And then I think we're gonna go ahead and we'll take that grinder and we'll move it with the Bobcat and we'll get it put back into the barn here so that it's out of the weather. So I got the grinder unhooked from the tractor here, so we should be able to take and pull the tractor up to the shop. Then we'll come back down and get the grinder, move it with the Bobcat, and put it into the barn so it's out of the weather elements while we're fixing this. Okay, got her in the shop. Got it pretty good so we can get all the way around it. But I'll show you guys what I was talking about. So obviously, like I showed you, there's that coupler that goes between here and here and here and here. There's 2 points on each side, connect together. These little deals on the pulley where these screws screw into it. These screws screw into it with these bushings on it. They would go into there, into this piece right here that my finger's on, and it's broke. And the other one's kind of like bent. So we're thinking we're gonna have to take this pulley off, and which is the lower pulley, so it's the biggest one. We're gonna have to take this pulley off, and get a new pulley since those are broke. And then obviously we'll have to get another one of these to splice them together. And hopefully there's not any more damage in there, because we didn't shut the tractor off right away. Like, we shut the PTO off because I thought maybe it was the PTO making that sound, but turns out it's this. But we got the tractor shut off fairly quick, but not super quick. So hopefully there's no other damage in there. Hopefully it's just that. Good morning, guys. So Dad's doing chores this morning, and Cole and I are gonna run out across the creek. Dad and Cole strung up another half-mile electric fence for our rotational grazing for our cows. So Cole and I are gonna go out and put up some cross fences so that we can move them into this next piece. And then we got to do some down by the creek where they've kind of been getting out too, but we'll explain more once we get out there. All right, so this is the new half-mile fence that Dad and Cole strung up. Goes that way. And the problem we're running into is right here by this, where it goes down into the creek and crosses the creek. We need to put a steel post in because around these fiberglass posts, the wire just slips down them. So we need to put a metal post in with one of them plastic insulator clips to hold the wire up. You guys are gonna have to bear with me today. I was sick yesterday, really sick yesterday. I didn't feel good at all. So you guys could probably hear it today anyways. So you have to bear with me if I'm, you know, coughing and gasping for breath. Anyways, we're gonna get this done, and then Cole and I are gonna string up that 1/4 mile fence like I said. So then later today we can bring the cows and move them over into this new piece. All right, so we got this post replaced with a steel one and this insulator here. So this is a little tall here. They could probably walk under that, but this is a pretty steep bank. So I don't think they're gonna walk under that there. And then we had to put in another post there because we had to go low enough here on this post that it was still kind of touching the ground there. So we had to put another post in the middle. But it should all work now. So with our 1/4 mile cross fence, we're having to hook it on this wire right next to one of these fiberglass posts. It's kind of putting a little bit of pressure on this fiberglass post. It's bending it there. So we're gonna go ahead and put another one in, just so the weight is on 2 of them then. Then hopefully that should be all right. This should be all right like this, but just in case, we're gonna put another one in beside it. All right, so we're back in here at the place now, and we're going to sort some calves. So right now we have 3 pens of calves. We got our steer calves, our home-raised steer calves. We got the heifer calves that we bought. Then we've got the heifer calves of our home-raised heifer calves. So we're gonna start with the pen of our home-raised heifer calves. We're gonna sort off all the lighter ones, and we'll keep them in this middle pen, and we'll put all the bigger ones up into that north pen, and then we'll be able to let them out, and they can graze, and we'll roll out bales for them and stuff too. And then this middle pen will really be able to pour on the feed and the grain to them, and hopefully they can put on some more pounds, since they won't have the competition of the bigger calves pushing them around and stuff. So that's what we're going to start with.
Maybe bring that steer next.
Okay, so we went through all the calves that were in this middle pen here, and got them sorted. Now we're gonna get in this bunch, our big group of our bottom heifers in this north feedlot. We'll sort them, then get everything back out so they can eat quick, like, hopefully. Thank you. Okay, so we got both those pens sorted, and we got middle pens back where it should be. Dad's working on kicking out that north pen and shutting them up back in that north feedlot. So we've got some steers in here that we missed when we were sorting them the other day when we weaned them. Then a couple days later we sorted our heifers and our steers and everything. So we got a couple steers in here that we missed while we were doing that. So we'll kick them out down with our steer calves in our south feedlot, and there's 1 or 2 in here that need banded yet. They didn't get cut. We didn't castrate them this spring. We missed them or just didn't see them or something. So we need to castrate, well, we need to band them now. But we're gonna go eat lunch. Then we gotta put our chute back in front of our alleyway here with the bobcat. Then we'll run them in, band them quick. Then we can kick them out with the other steer calves. Alrighty, so it's after lunch now. Dad's got the chute put in place in front of the alleyway here. We got 2 calves to band, so he's gonna run them up here into the chute. We'll get them caught, then get them banded, and we can kick them all out back where they belong, and they can get to eating. So this tractor we got tore apart. We just got to get this pulley off, and it definitely needs a new pulley where it screws in. Those are broke. Those little pegs are broke. So it definitely needs a new pulley there. Then it needs some other little things too, like it could use a new belt. That one's getting dry rotted and stuff like that. But so we gotta wait. We haven't ordered any parts for it yet, so we're waiting for parts for this. So I thought I'd give you guys a little update on this tractor here. And what all broke yesterday. So it just ended up being just that pulley, which is good. All right, guys, I think with that's just about gonna do it for this video. So if you're new here, remember to hit that subscribe button. Everybody hit that like button. That helps us out a lot. And if you're enjoying our content, go check out more videos. We got a whole bunch on the channel you can go check out. And thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate all the support. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.